Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Today I am working some more on this Druchii character on Photoshop with Lazy Nezumi Pro. Yesterday I got the majority of the flat color down. So today I need to finish the silver for the armor. All these little spots where you can see through, there's nothing there. And then I also need to do a black layer and a silver layer for the helmet. Then after that I can go on to shading. So I'm going to do the silver armor first. I need to make a new layer for that. Oops. Just going to pull this straight up to get a silver color. And let's start at the feet. I might end up changing some of this if I don't like how it all looks together. But I won't know until I actually fill it in. I think I'm going to turn on the dark background since this is such a light color. My lines were completed a long time ago for this picture. Looking at them now, they would have benefited a lot from Lazy Nezumi Pro if I had known about it, or if it had existed back then. Because a lot of these lines down here are really lumpy. But at least once you zoom out, you can't really tell as much. Only when you zoom all the way in can you tell. I was going to do this side part. I need a smaller brush. Both of these sections are going to be silver. don't know if I'm gonna like that front part of the shoe being silver. Because right now it kind of makes it look like a tennis shoe. I'll finish the rest though, and then I'll fill it in if I need to. Oh yeah, this little teardrop shaped thing. For these really sharp corners, it's turning out a lot easier to just color outside the lines and then erase it away. Let's just fill this with a paint bucket now that I've got the outline. And then paint the little line where it's not quite matched up. I don't always remember to do that, but it's handy when I do. Fill in the whole area. Save a little bit of time and effort. Now onto these leg things. They've got pretty sharp corners too, so I'm going to do the same thing and just sort of roughly color it and then carefully erase away. Then I can use the paint bucket too. For both of these sections. Paint bucket, paint bucket. Okay, erase away. Oops, erased too much right there. I might erase a little too much. I can see just a little bit of red in that background layer. I want to make this sharper right here. So I'm going to erase way high into it and add back. There, that one's good. Let's do the other one. Let's do the same thing. Just roughly fill in, roughly outline the area that we want to fill in. And paint bucket. And I'm painting these areas where it didn't quite match up. That always happens because with the paintbrush, the way it fills in pixels is not hard. It sort of tapers off in transparency so that it has a softer look. Because of those transparent, I guess translucent pixels around the edge of your brush stroke using this paintbrush tool, when you go to fill with the paint bucket, it doesn't fill in those areas because it just sees, oh, these pixels are already filled in. It doesn't take into account that the pixels are translucently filled in. Or at least that is the most logical explanation to me. I've not actually looked into the code or something like that to see exactly what it's doing, but if you zoom way in, you can see the translucent pixels between the paintbrush strokes and where you fill in with the paint bucket. Ugh, my eyes have been so allergy ridden. I try not to, but sometimes they get so itchy I just have to stop for a second and itch them just a little bit. I don't know what it is I've been putting in my... I've always had eye allergies. I wasn't diagnosed until, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And it explained why my eyes always felt scratchy. I had always thought, oh, I'm getting pet fur in my eyes again. Well, no, it turns out that that was just a feeling of scratchy allergy eyelids. And so I use these eye drops every day, but it's been so bad recently that my eyes are just so itchy, both of them. Instead of once in the morning and once at night, I've just been putting the eye drops in multiple times a day because they're not medicated, they're not habit forming, so I can use them whenever I need them. I've been needing them a lot. And maybe it's also because I've been concentrating so hard on my art, like I don't maybe it has to do with looking at a computer screen so much, because I haven't been, up until I moved out of my old house a couple weeks ago, I hadn't been doing this much digital art. And maybe that's partially the reason why. That looks good. All these knee things are also silver. Alright, paint bucket. The thing to be careful with the paint bucket is, and at least there's undo, so you can always fix it. But sometimes you might think you filled something in, and then you hit the paint bucket and it fills your whole dang picture in. You're like, no, where's the missing spot? Because it has to be completely filled in, completely outlined. If there's even the tiniest little spot where it's not, where the line is not touching, and the paint will go everywhere. Whenever I start to use this technique, I always ask myself why I don't always do it, but I think it's just because sometimes I'm not in a state where I want to keep switching tools. I would rather do the extra work of filling in using the same tool, just so that I don't have to keep switching tools. Because it is kind of annoying to have to do that. If you're in the zone with the paintbrush, you don't want to switch to something else. In the end, it doesn't really matter that much. It saves a little bit of time, but not enough time that I need to like train myself to do it that way every single time. Oops, I need to switch off of the eraser. Paint bucket. Oops. I think it's nice to be left-handed when I'm doing, because I am left-handed, but especially when I'm doing this art, because I have my right hand free to use my mouse, because I still use my mouse on the right like most people. So I can quickly switch from drawing with my stylus with my left hand and just grab the mouse in order to click all these buttons, which I also have on the right side of the screen. If I was right-handed, that would be more difficult, because I love drawing with my tablet, but trying to press buttons and stuff using my pen doesn't feel as precise as just using the mouse. Oops, I erased too much right there. You can barely tell, but I saw it there. Yep, these lines are so bumpy, and it's because with Photoshop, you really got to have this Lazy Nezumi Pro program if you want to get the nice, smoothest lines you can. Like, I don't know, it's so good. I'm so glad I found it. I don't know when it first was designed or put out there for people to use, Lazy Nezumi, but I'll never do digital art without it. It was definitely worth the 1-year licensing thing, and it's also nice because you can pay the 1-year licensing fee, and it doesn't mean that you don't get to use it anymore after that 1 year. You get to use whatever version you were on at the end of your licensing, and you can use that one forever. You just don't get any more updates unless you renew your licensing. And I like it so much that I'm probably going to renew, not because I think that it needs updates, but just because it's such a good program that I want to support it. So it's fixed so many problems that I've always had, and I always sort of assumed that I just wasn't doing something good enough, like I was missing something, my technique was off or something. No, it just turns out that Photoshop kind of sucks for drawing, actually. For freehand drawing, it sucks. But it has so many other benefits that I still use Photoshop. And now with the Lazy Nezumi combined with it, it's pretty great. I'll make sure to bring this all the way down, though I will erase it a bit. Fill in that part. Can't wait to get a desk where the keyboard is not preventing me from putting my chair all the way up. It's kind of hard for me to, I keep having to lean forward no matter what. Because I still need access to my keyboard. It would be better if I had a desk where I could like set it to the side or something, or I don't know. I just want one big flat desk. No keyboard tray. Don't want that. For anyone who doesn't have to work on a screen tablet, there's no problem using a keyboard tray, but if you're actually working on some sort of touch screen or whatever, tablet screen, it just makes the keyboard totally in the way. And I'm just drawing this all in. No paint bucket on this one. It's just one of those things. I'm just into this tool right now. Don't need to use switch. Don't want to switch. Erase that little bit of extra. Okay, those are good. Now let's do the other side. You can actually fill, you can click the paint bucket twice on the area you want to fill, and that will fill in this line that I just filled in by hand with the paintbrush. But the problem with it is it also fills in those semi-transparent pixels, those translucent pixels on the outside. And so that usually makes extra work, because then you have to clean that stuff up, because it will like go outside the lines or something like that. So I think it's easier just to fill it in with a brush. There's a little too much. Here, I'll show you. If you hit the paint bucket again, see how it did that? Let's see. Let's Control Z. See how it made the edges all rough? So that's why I don't do that, because that's too much extra work to clean up, I think. I would rather just fill this little line in. Okay, those side things are good. Now this little middle part. This is such a big long thing, I think I'll use the paint bucket here too. Paint, fill that little triangle, this one is here, there. Fill in and then clean up. Now time to erase these outsides. Looks nice and clean. Oh, I missed a little corner right here. I'm gonna get a little slightly smaller eraser. It's kind of hard to tuck it into those corners. Oopsie, dang it. There. Whew, I'm trying not to scrunch up my shoulders. So hard to keep good posture. I did a new gym class today, group class. It was pretty awesome. I'd been looking forward to doing it for a long time. Called Body Flow, but they had never had any in the early morning slots, or even before I started doing early morning, they didn't have any in a slot that I was able to go to. Like, most of them were really late in the afternoon, and I'm not going to the gym then. Everybody goes to the gym and it's so busy. I like to go when it's not busy. So they introduced one on the Thursday mornings, which I didn't have another class at that time, so it was perfect. And it was at my favorite gym, because there's actually multiple locations I could go to, but this is the one I prefer. And today was the first class, and it turns out it's a totally new instructor. It's not like it's a seasoned instructor who just started doing a new time slot. This instructor is like brand new. But she did a super good job. Like, she didn't seem like a newbie or anything. She knew what she was doing. So, I'm actually surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, so body flow is like combination of yoga, Pilates moves, some Tai Chi, those kind of like slow, purposeful, isometric kind of moves. A lot of stretching, flexibility, trying to do your breathing to the moves, which was super hard for me. I wasn't able to do it most of the time because I needed to breathe, because I was like, because it was so hard that I needed more oxygen. I could not control my breath most of the time. But it was great because even though it was a big focus was on flexibility and stretching and stuff, it was still a workout. Like, I've been doing body pump, which is weights, and body combat, which is like sort of MMA kind of thing. No contact, but yeah, like I've been doing tons of strength stuff and lots of running exercises. Like, I do lots of running, so speed and everything, but I didn't really have any serious flexibility in my routine. And I knew I was missing it because every time we did stretching in body pump or body combat, or even I did my own stretching after doing a running workout, it's like in the classes it was never seemed long enough because they only do like 5 minutes of stretching, and I just want to hold this one stretch for 5 minutes and the whole thing's over already. Like, it's not enough stretching. And then after running, I have to try to hurry, but I don't want to, because I just want to sit there and sit in that stretch forever until it finally stops feeling like it needs stretching. So this was like a whole class of stretching, active stretching, and also static stretching. Active, I think they call it dynamic, and static is the more official terms that people use. But yeah, it was great, but I think that it worked me out really hard, so my back is also kind of sore from that. My muscles were like trembling. Like, at first I felt really great. I was like, yeah, all these other classes I've been doing, the body pump, body combat, my muscle strength has gone up crazy amounts since I first started, like back in May of 2017, so like 9 months ago or something. But after a while, even though at first I was keeping up really well with this class, I started shaking a lot for everything. And then I was shaking so much that even when we were just doing static stretches, I was just like trying to stretch my legs and they were like trembling because they were so tired by that point. I think I've got a really good balance of exercise in my fitness routine now. Let's do body pump on 2 days a week, body combat 1 day a week. Now I'm going to do body flow 1 day a week, and then I'm aiming for 2 days a week doing running, but I want to do trail running on one of those days, and the weather has not been good for trail running. The trails are either like all muddy, or now they're going to be all icy and snowy because it snowed a ton overnight. I wonder if it's still snowing. Looks like it stopped snowing, but yeah, like the roads were horrible this morning. On our way home from the gym, we saw someone who had slid off the road and smashed their car into a stop sign, and the stop sign was all bent. I don't have any specific fitness goals other than, I mean, I make short-term goals, but my long-term goals are I just want to be able. I want to be able-bodied for as long as possible in my life. So my overall goal, my biggest goal, is to just not stop doing fitness stuff. And right now I really love these gym classes. They have been going, they've been around for so long. This Lemme body whatever series, though they have some other stuff too, but the series of classes from this company, it's been going on for, I don't know, 2 decades, because the other day I was talking to the instructor from my, what is it, the body pump class, and one of the tracks was really hard and it was really unusual. I'd never done anything like it before. And it turns out that that track was made and presented to, came out for use by the instructors the year before I was even born. So, and I'm 31, about to be 32 years old, so yeah, it must be like almost, it must be over 3 decades old, just like me. So there's plenty of material. That's what I'm getting at. These classes aren't going to get boring because the instructors love to change things up, because they're having to do this like 5 times a week or whatever. Multiple times a week. So they're always changing it up based on their preferences, based on students' track requests and stuff. And I think that's the most important thing with exercise is if you get bored, you've got to change it up. Because either you're just going to quit because it's boring and you don't want to do it anymore, or your body is going to get so used to it that it's not going to be really doing you any good anyway, even if you keep at it. So there's just multiple reasons to keep switching it up. It's good for your joints and everything too, to do different moves so that you're not wearing yourself out doing the same stuff all the time. Now, if only I could get a good art set up, and I will once I move into my new house, then my fitness stuff should be even better, because then I won't get a sore back, sore shoulders just from doing artwork. I only want to be sore if I worked out my muscles super hard and they're going to be growing bigger. I don't want to be sore from not being able to sit in a proper position, in an ergonomic position. I already ruined my back a bit. Like it's not ruined so that I can't do anything ruined, but I have lower back pain now that is easily exacerbated by bad posture. And it really helped when I started focusing a lot on doing ab exercises, which was what my doctor recommended, because it turns out you can have back pain because your abs are so weak that your back is taking on more load than it should. So that really helped, but it didn't completely solve the problem. And I think it's from the 12 years I spent, well, only 10 of those were in the IT department, but a decade in sitting in a chair for these like 10 to 12 hour shifts, and sometimes huge overtime weeks. Just sitting there monitoring the system, whatever. It was pretty bad, and I worked alone for the majority of my time, so it wasn't like there was often times for me to like take breaks and get up and walk away. So I was completely by myself. I was the overnight shift, so there was like nobody. So one of the many reasons I'm so thankful that I don't have to do that anymore. I can focus on art. I can take a break if I need to. This is coming along nicely. Kind of getting into a flow here with it. Be careful not to erase this part because I do want that. Oh yeah, I didn't want to forget this little triangle holding the cloak on. I wanted this to be silver. And I had also thought I would do this silver too. Oh, it'll be so nice when I have that Wacom arm. Well, it's not Wacom brand, but tablet arm. So that I can put this tablet above my lap, hovering above my lap, instead of where it is now is like right in front of me, but it's just on its standard stand thing, and it's angled like 15 degrees, and I can't really get it too much closer to me. I wish I could get much closer to it. If I was taller, it wouldn't be a problem. Alas. I hope this silver ends up looking good. Let's finish it all off and zoom out. Now, which of these? Oh, I went too far here. This whole thing is gonna be silver, and then this up to here. And this too, and up to here. Not sure which part of the helmet. I should have just let those go off. Don't think about it. Too late now, it'll be okay. Let's fill this. And erase. Ooh, what is this? There's a section of the black armor that's sticking out there. Back to the silver layer. A little bit that you can see the red showing right here. There. What else? What else? The rest of his arm. This needs to come all the way down. Bring it all the way back up around here. And fill. clean this line up. Posture is terrible. I keep thinking about it because my shoulders hurt. My shoulders hurting. Oopsie. There's all too much right there. There. That one is so thin right there. I'm gonna have to just paint it back in order to make it work. There. Fill it in, paint it in. Just keep repeating until the silver is all done. too much there. A little bit much there too. Fill it in real quick. Now this part, draw it in. No paint bucket here. Triangle bit. It's actually probably a teardrop shape. I've got that as a repeating motif in this character's design. And I think here what I wanted to do was make this spiky collar silver but leave the teardrop up here. Unlike all the other ones, leave it dark. And it will be one teardrop that's different from the others. Kind of remind me of Batman symbol. So I guess this guy is all reminding me of vampires. It's black and red, it's got this bat symbol. He's not supposed to be a vampire though. Oh, this didn't get filled in. Oop. Oh, look, I missed a little spot here. Let's fix that. Primer black is on top of that. There. Back to the silver layer, back to the silver color, back to erasing. know if that's everything. I think it is, though. Let's take a look. I don't know about that being black up there. I think maybe I should do... Okay, I'm gonna try this. This is gonna be silver on silver. And then so is this. Okay, let's look. How does that look? I do think that's better. Still not sure about the shoes. I like making that arrow stand out, but they still kind of look like tennis shoes, not like armor, cool armor. They look like Converse or something. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna open this example of a different character I've already done and see what I did for her feet. Because she's really similar, only she has gold instead of silver. Oh, I did this part silver on her. She definitely doesn't have feet tips that are silver, but those arrows are just gonna fade into the background, because once I start shading, you're really not gonna be able to see them. I need to erase this hook a little bit. And make it smaller. Okay, this is what I'll do. Oops, not smaller. I'm gonna make a copy. I'm gonna turn off this one, and on this copy, I'm going to need a bigger eraser. Erase this silver part, because I don't want to lose this in case I decide that I prefer it. So I'm only going to do this on a copy to begin with. And then I need to go to the black armor layer. Ah, I'm still on the eraser. Fill it in. No. Okay, smaller eraser now. Oops. Well, in that corner, I ended up erasing more of it. Yeah, even though I might lose these arrows, I'm already starting to feel like I like the appearance more. So there's just no reason to bring attention to the feet, and having that stark contrast of colors brings attention there, and there's nothing special. There's nothing any more special about that area than any other area. Okay. Without or with? Without. I definitely like it without, but is the rest of the foot good, or should I change that too? Let's try another different thing. This copy layer. Let's color in this part too. It looked like a bracelet, but it might still look better, because now I like that it's not too huge of an amount of silver, but now it's kind of like sad at the bottom. Maybe if I just fill this area in, it will be enough. Let's save real quick. I think I do like that better. Okay, I think that's good enough to move on from. So now we need to do helmet black. This helmet's supposed to be super spiky. Studded with small spikes. Covers most of his face. Doesn't particularly say anything about like the color of the spikes. I think it's just relying on the fact that all of the armor is supposed to be silver and black. So now I'm kind of thinking what should be silver and what should be black. I better turn off this armor black layer because then I might get confused about what has been covered. And the underclothes too. So I'm thinking the spikes should probably be... Oh, but I don't know. Well, they definitely won't stand out if they're not silver on black or vice versa. So should the helmet be mostly silver with black details or mostly black with silver details? Guess it should probably match the rest of the armor. Okay. I'm gonna fill it mostly in black. Spikes can be silver, the horns can be silver, and I'll make at least some of these lines silver too. I guess I'm just kind of worried that this helmet looks kind of sporty. And it's not, he's not supposed to look like a football player or something. With all these lines on it though, it makes it look sporty. But just like the armor, I will take a look at it after I'm done and edit as needed. Great thing about digital coloring. That's good. Let's do... Oh, wait, should I make this whole thing silver? Yeah, let's try that first. Try making the whole spiky area silver. Made a new layer. Let's start filling this area in. yeah, I should turn off the armor silver layer too. Okay, time to erase. I need a smaller. Or actually, I will erase and then draw back there. I need to remember that on coloring on the outside of an angle, of a sharp angle, need to erase into the angle, and coloring on the inside, fill in outside of the angle. I don't think I can explain that right, but I know what I'm thinking. This needs to be smaller. Coming along, just find the little details. looked like that was part that wasn't getting erased, but it was actually just the background showing very thinly between the silver and the red color. I'm going to go back to the black color real quick. There's a little strip right here. Ah, no, there's the one eraser. Little strip of red showing through. There. Okay, back to silver. Back to silver color. Also back to erasing. I think I want to look at something first before I finish this off. I think maybe I should make these two side stripes black. It's still looking kind of like a football helmet. Well, let's turn the other layers back on and get a good look at it. Well, now that I'm looking at it zoomed out, maybe instead of taking the silver away, I'll add more silver. First I gotta finish erasing this part. Zoom all the way in. Actually, I'm going to keep that there. Looks like it's curving back. Yeah, when I zoomed out, I thought maybe this would actually look better if this was completely filled in like these stripes are. There's a raised area on the edge, but then there's also the inside between the edges is also silver. Take a look. Turn on all the layers. Just gonna look at it. Maybe switch backgrounds. Just don't feel like I'm seeing it well. I've been looking at it for too long. I'm looking at it, but I don't feel like I'm seeing it. I guess for the most part it's balanced. I think the helmet does look good like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it good here today. My eyes are getting tired. It's getting hard to pay attention or something. I think I need a break. So tomorrow, I won't work on this because tomorrow's Friday, which means it's Chibi Friday. I still have the chibi from last week that I was doing of Kiki, my second largest pet. And so tomorrow I will finish that up. Thank you for watching.